Well, hello everybody. It is Boxing Day and the first big result of the day. Hopefully later on we're going to be talking about a Leeds United big win, which will send Leeds United top of the table on goal difference. But Sheffield United have lost to Burnley, and listen, really impressive, have to say, from Burnley. They were, I thought, the better team throughout. I thought the first half, I thought maybe Sheffield United edged it a little bit. I was really impressed with Sheffield United's fitness, their press, their endeavour in that first. They were harrying Burnley, and Burnley were almost getting rushed into playing the percentages a little bit, hitting that long ball to Zian Fleming, and not really able to get a structure, not really able to get any sort of flow going to the game. But by goodness, in that at the back end of the half, obviously when Burnley scored, there was a little bit of a change, a massive change. You go into the second half and you think to yourself, that's a big body blow. Obviously we saw Brownhill get it. I believe the commentator said it was his 9th of the campaign. Now, just for you Burnley fans who are watching this, I got laughed for suggesting that Josh Brownhill should ever feature in this Leeds United side. I got laughed. I'm so impressed with Brownhill sort of every time I see him at Championship State. But I guess it goes into the catalogue of the Nunos and the Iriolas, who, according to some of our fan base, were never good enough for Leeds United. But yeah, listen, it's in hindsight, isn't it? But Brownhill, I've always thought, in sort of the lower end Premier League, in terms of his numbers and the upper echelon of the Championship, I think he's always been very good, and his numbers are showing that. Not only is he getting across the pitch, but he's adding numbers again, like he did in Burnley's last Championship campaign as well. Very good performance in there with Lauren and Cullen. I thought they dominated in terms of that midfield competition. Just looking at the screen now, Sousa, I thought, struggled. I probably thought it was his worst game of the season. Sidney Peck as well, who's coming in there for Arblaster. I think it's pretty obvious Sheffield United should go in for a central midfielder. And the reason I'm saying that is because I can think consistently Sheffield United have been very good, but I think they need a bit of bulking up in terms of quality in that central space. Tom Davies has been decent, but is he that quality that's going to get you promoted out of this division? I don't know, maybe, but the question would be, why is he not starting? Potentially it's fitness, but I thought Cullen, Lauren in there, and Brownhill as that 3. Brownhill almost getting into a number 8 position were really good for Burnley. I thought the interesting tactical point of it was Kiefer Moore being up top. Now, from what I can see, you haven't got a Tyrese Campbell available or within the side. Now, the interesting thing about Kiefer Moore up top is probably the issue with his running. Now, a lot of people, I could hear the moaning and the groans when Ryan Brewster would get the ball almost in that central attacking midfield spot and try feed Kiefer Moore, but Kiefer Moore doesn't have the legs, and he's almost not a defence splitting centre forward runner. He's not got the pace. Kiefer Moore's game is Kiefer Moore's game. We all know what it is. So when you start him as an out and out number 9, he's done really well. I think he's got 3 goals in his last 2. But running between centre backs, 2 very good centre backs at this level when it comes to Egan Riley and Esteve, it's a problem. You need to have pace. You need to have more than just the aerial threat. And for a big man, he's good with the ball at his feet. But it wasn't good enough today. And I thought Esteve and I thought Egan Riley in particular, I thought was absolutely excellent. They dealt with him very easily. And surprisingly, when you obviously go away to Sheffield United, you think, well, this is going to be a real battle, and the centre forward's going to get a couple of chances. Just looking at it right now, between both sides, there was 5 shots off target, 2 for Sheffield United, 2 for 0, I should say, for Burnley. But overall, it was an interesting setup. I think somehow, I don't know how Sheffield United are going to do it, but if they're playing a 4-2-3-1 system, you can't have Callum O'Hare wide right. You can't have Gustavo Hamer wide left. I think this is the problem that they've got right now. I think if you've got a consistent period of time where Hamer is playing in that number 10, or Callum O'Hare is playing in that number 10 like he did at Coventry, you're going to get a little bit more of a succession there. The issue, what they've got now, is it feels like they're trying to fit Ryan Brewster in. They're trying to fit them all in when they're in there. And I think it's a little bit of a problem. The positive for Sheffield United right now is obviously that they're now going to be having Jack Robinson out the side, and Anel's going to be back, which I think is absolutely massive for the set pieces as well. But I think the interesting thing about Burnley, they're the conundrum right now. Bashir Humphreys, Esteve, Egan Riley and Roberts and Trafford, that back 5 solid. It's absolutely solid at this level, and people keep telling us that they're going to fall off. They're going to have problems. Well, they're not having problems whatsoever. They're beating quite a lot of the mediocre sides in this division. And Burnley are a genuine shout for winning the league. They're a genuine shout for it. Right now, Sunderland are a genuine shout. All matched up on games. Leeds United on lesser games, Blackburn on lesser games as we're speaking to you right now. But, on 23 games played for all of the top three, there is 2 points now separating all of them. So for a period of time where Sheffield United, in everybody's eyes, were gone, it was clear. It's not right now. This result has brought them right back into it. Now, Burnley, on the other hand, what a result. Another away win. I think that's 4 on the bounce, might even be 5. But have a look at the amount of clean sheets they're getting against everybody. Goals against, just for comparison, Sheffield United on 13, Sunderland on 19, Leeds on 15, Blackburn on 20, Middlesbrough on 31. Burnley are not even in double digits yet. They are on 9 goals conceded, and we're about to hit January. Incredible defensive record. I think it's also the midfield as well, who work very, very hard for Scott Parker's side. And you don't concede goals, you go up. You're going to get a win or you're going to get a draw. And I think they are very, very good at grinding these out. I think that back 5 is now very, very consistent as well. Humphries has played his way into it. He can play on the right side, but he can play on the left as well. You've got Roberts, who just consolidated that position and is just carry on what Connor Roberts does in the Championship, which is a 6, 7 out of 10 every single week. But I'm so impressed with Egan Riley and Esteve in particular, who is just an absolute rock. He's a rock. He knows when to play the line. Something that was quite confusing today with Sheffield United as well is they're just playing Kiefer Moore offside all the time. When he is trying to hang back, when he's trying to hang on that back 4, the big issue is they're too quick for him. They're too quick the high line to step up, and Kiefer Moore is too slow to recognise that in open play. Big problem. Against Burnley, I think you've got to set someone up with a little bit of pace, but athleticism as well, and some real physicality, and that's difficult to find in the Championship. Kiefer Moore's had a really good spell. But is he the striker that you need? Are we going to be looking at the January market right now where you have Sheffield United, Burnley and Leeds all going for a striker? Quite fortuitous with the Zian Fleming goal, I have to say. Obviously the deflection, which was look, free kick. Sheffield United fans will feel aggrieved because at the other end, should there have been a foul given, went to the other end, got a free kick. That's where Burnley were quite good today. I felt it was on the counter-attack. They looked menacing, and that's where I think they look more dangerous than Sheffield United. And against Leeds, they looked menacing on that counter-attack as well. Koleosho wasn't even featuring today, which was actually quite interesting. But Jayden Anthony's building ahead of form. I think Burnley look really decent at the minute, really decent, and everybody's doing this thing where they're saying they're gonna fall off. I don't see it. You've got the midfield again contributing to goals in Josh Brownhill. We've seen it again this season as well with Hannibal. And look, I think they're going to be there or thereabouts, Burnley. I think that's an obvious thing to say, but when I say there and thereabouts, there are genuine discussions that there is a title here for Burnley to win as well. But Zian Fleming, very fortuitous, but I think on the whole, Burnley deserve the win. It's another clean sheet away from home. It's quite a staggering away form. They're head of the away form table, I think now by 4 or 5 points it should be. But very, very impressive, has to be said, from Burnley. Sheffield United back to the drawing board. They've got a big month coming up. But Burnley, Borough away, if they can go and beat Borough away, which they did when they got promoted, obviously, Connor Roberts being the scorer. That might have been the last time they were at Borough as well in that big eventful game. But if they go and beat Borough, that's Sheffield United and Borough as 2 consecutive away wins. If they can do it with a clean sheet as well, Burnley are serious competition for this title, especially if they get into the full flow of things and invest in January. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Burnley, Sheffield United and Leeds fans flipping out. This is a big run in, isn't it? Let us know what you think. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.